and I think founders yang berani take the risk, they should be rewarded.
Halo teman-teman, welcome back to Bisa Podcast with me, Elga Teresia. Senang banget nih bisa ketemu teman-teman lagi. Nah, kita masih di season 2 tentang investasi, tapi ada yang spesial di episode kali ini. Ya, mungkin teman-teman udah bisa lihat ya. Kita kali ini recording onsite dari Binus Kampus Anggrek lantai 8 nih teman-teman. Gak hanya recordingnya yang spesial, tapi tamunya juga spesial dong. Nah, tamu kita kali ini itu baik banget sampai titlenya pun angel, malaikat. Lebih tepatnya angel investor gitu. Nah, sosok angel investor inilah yang bisa teman-teman temui nanti sebelum misalnya teman-teman mau fundraising ke VC gitu. Nanti untuk lebih jelasnya kita akan ngobrol-ngobrol bareng tamu kita ini. Nah, yang uniknya dari tamu kita kali ini, beliau tuh lulusan dari kampus US, jurusannya psikologi. Tapi akhirnya nyemplung ke dunia investasi. Nah, unik kan teman-teman? Nah, tanpa berlama-lama langsung aja kita sambut Fany Cendrajaya dari Kopital Network. Hai Fandy.
Hai Alga.
Yeah. Thank you for being here ya.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Iya, welcome to Binus Anggrek. Dan terima kasih udah bersedia menjadi guest pertama untuk sesi yang recording onsite ini.
Yes, very honored.
Iya. Nah, untuk teman-teman yang mungkin belum tahu Pak Fandy ini jadi backgroundnya sangat menarik ya. Beliau ini lulus dari Northeastern University untuk S1-nya ya,
Yep.
Jurusan psikologi. Ya. Dan S2-nya baru di Harvard Extension School,
Yes.
jurusan finance gitu. Jadi basically lulusan psikologi tapi nyemplung ke dunia investasi dan jadi angel investor.
Yes, benar.
Iya, mungkin boleh diceritain itu perjalanan karirnya waktu itu gimana tuh?
To start things off mungkin ya, kayak I started off studying psychology gara-gara I was interested in how learning how people behave, learning how what motivate people, and kayak just the mentality behind kayak how people can be so successful compared to others. And that's actually why I studied psychology, and then eventually I took finance gara-gara pengen ngerti lebih banyak tentang investasi ya. Tapi sebenarnya sebelum jadi angel investor, I did a few of my own businesses on the side. Some okay, some not so great. Eventually saved up some money and eventually started angel investing in 2020.
Iya. Jadi udah pernah nyemplung sebagai entrepreneur itu sendiri ya sebenarnya.
Iya, untuk berapa tahun lah.
Oke.
Iya.
Nice. Keren banget kan teman-teman. Nah, mungkin aku penasaran sih kenapa bisa tertarik sama dunia investasi ini?
I think outside of the financial side of things ya, ini kayak goes back to basics as to why I took psychology in the first place. In my stage of investments, which is the earliest stage of investments, most of the companies I invest in belum ada traction, belum ada even product market fit. So you're actually betting on the people.
Yeah.
So trying to put a number in something so intangible as the people behind the company was something that was very interesting to me. I think it's always the thought process of seeing someone go from just an idea into something that will be super big, something that will be generational. I think that is something that is very motivating for me. That's why kayak I step into the investment side.
Iya.
Iya.
Jadi idea and people fascinate you ya. Jadi terbuka dengan ide dan orang gitu ya.
Iya. I mean, example kayak dulu, I think I started angel investing with my friends who are the founders of Kopi Kenangan. When I first met them, and I sort of met them prior to them even starting Kopi Kenangan. I thought I thought it was very inspiring seeing them go from one store to hundreds of stores, and now even outside of Indonesia. So there's a feeling that I hope to be able to replicate through one of my investments. Yeah.
So sebenarnya angel investing ini menarik ya, karena kalau investor yang lain kan lebih lihatnya ke traction, terus projection, kira-kira kapan sih saya bisa dapat returnnya. Tapi kalau angel investor tuh kayak ada sesuatu yang lain gitu ya, yang gak hanya profit yang dikejar ya. Jadi apa sih sebenarnya, kenapa seorang tuh mau jadi angel investor?
I think some people want to be kayak, for example, there are different kinds of angel investor kan ya. Ada yang kayak udah jadi entrepreneur, terus habis itu udah sukses, terus they started to angel invest because they want to help the new entrepreneurs. Ada some yang they are just so passionate about the sector. Ada some yang kayak they already have a business, tapi they want to try out a new business, tapi they don't have the time and the time and basically the effort left to actually invest in a new business. So they angel invest so that they can actually just dip their toes around. So there are multiples, there are different kind of angel investors, and I guess in short, all of them share one common thing ya. They're all passionate about the businesses they invest in. Gara-gara is their own personal money, kan? Yeah.
Okay. But from your experience, could you tell us like one story yang paling memorable gitu tentang maybe ada pengalaman investing di perusahaan gimana dan itu ngena banget?
I guess I invested in this. I guess ada several companies that I invested in that was very the founders was quite inspiring. They started out kayak, for example, there was a company that went to puluhan investor, ditolak terus. Even actually initially I said no to them, but it was actually one of my biggest mistake because after they got an investment, the founder really improved himself and taught himself how to communicate better, taught himself how to actually how to fundraise better, how to present his business better to investors just in general. And actually that experience for me was eye-opening because that was the first time where I realized, sebenarnya you can come from any background and still succeed as an entrepreneur because these entrepreneurs actually didn't have the traditional, I guess, successful education background.
Ya, nggak dari business school gitu ya.
Iya, terus doesn't have the necessary, the typical consultant work experience. Tapi they're actually one of the, even to currently, they're actually one of the hottest startups in town.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was eye-opening for me. And actually just looking at him grow so much as an individual too, kayak it was very inspiring for me.
So then how do you evaluate these startup founders? Gimana cara bedain startup founder yang ini kayaknya oke untuk diinvest, yang ini kayaknya enggak dulu deh gitu.
I think the similar theme that these particular startup founders yang tadi I was mentioning, some of, for example, the founders of Kopi Kenangan and other successful startups, I think is that they treat this as their baby.
Okay.
Is that they prioritize this company. There's no 9 to 5. This is their life, and they want to do whatever it takes to actually make this company work. And they're passionate about the problems that they're solving.
Jadi yang go hard or go home gitu.
I guess ya ada playnya juga lah. Cuman kayak ya go hard, kayak passionate. Terus abis itu kayak they know the problems they're solving and they want to grow as a person and they are open to inputs from anyone. Kan ada kan orang yang kayak hanya open to inputs from people that have a senior title. Tapi kayak the successful ones that I have met thus far are the ones that are actually open to inputs from kayak anyone. Just kayak senior title, regardless of age, regardless of background. They try to learn something from everyone and they're actually very humble.
Iya, jadi yang open minded ya.
Iya.
Jadi yang judge opini ya berdasarkan opini itu aja, nggak berdasarkan orangnya.
Iya.
Gitu. Okay.
So yeah, that's a very important trait that in spite of kayak for example the founders of Kopi Kenangan, in spite of their success, they are still extremely down to earth people, and I don't think in the core they have changed at all from day one. Yeah.
Okay. Lalu misalnya ada startup founder nih yang datang ke Fandy atau yang mau datang ke Fandy. Kira-kira tips apa yang bisa dibagikan ke mereka?
I guess be open-minded and be open-minded yet at the same time be convicted and be very know the problem you're solving very well. Be an expert at the problem you're trying to solve. And then kayak I guess you should be able to teach me about the sector, about the problem you're trying to solve, and why the problem has to be solved. Karena the purpose of having a startup kan sebenarnya you're trying to solve a problem, you're trying to make everyone's lives more efficient kan. Yeah.
Dan waktu mereka present, how should they present gitu biar mereka dilirik lah gitu.
Sebenarnya there's no one way ya kalau ngomong present. Just be yourself.
Okay.
Because I think at the end of the day it's a long-term partnership, and I think you have to like your investors. The investor have to like the founder juga. Jadi there has to be mutual respect for each other. So I think it's very important to just be yourself. Because if the investor is not a big fan of you from the get-go, I think it's and then you're not a big fan of the investor as well, and you have to be someone else in front of the investor, then you probably don't want that investor.
Yeah, because this is a long-term partnership, not just a one-time transaction then bye.
Yeah. It's like a marriage kan. It's like a marriage where you want to be yourself, and you want this you know that when you go through a hard time, you want to be able to talk to these investors, and hard time doesn't just mean financially kan, or kayak from a business perspective. Hard time means kayak sometimes mentally, sometimes emotionally, and so you want them to sort of you want to like each other, I think, and respect each other.
Yeah. Ini menarik sih. Jadi penasaran. Kalau kita diinvest oleh angel investor, biasanya step-stepnya tuh kayak gimana sih? Misalnya dari awal deal-dealannya tuh kayak gimana? Mungkin untuk teman-teman yang belum punya bayangan gitu, biar jadi punya bayangan sekarang.
Kalau deal-dealannya sih sebenarnya lumayan informal ya, kayak for example if you want to be invested by the angels in our angel network, all you have to do is actually, it can be as simple as actually just pitching to them over a single Zoom call, and actually getting that commitment the next day, terus habis itu langsung di-invest kan. Atau enggak ada juga yang kayak you build that relationship over time with that investor that you want. Baru akhirnya you ask kayak, hey, do you want to actually, I'm starting this, do you want to be a part of my journey gitu. Jadi there are different processes, tapi I guess in this early stage, the most important thing is to just maintain that relationship with the potential investors.
So it's pretty informal or
It's pretty
casual.
informal.
Ya.
Yeah.
Berarti juga sangat bervariasi, misalnya deal-dealan mengenai percentage-nya atau kepemilikan sahamnya itu very fluid lah ya gitu bisa dibilang.
Yeah, that's the good thing about kayak angel investors compared to like other more formalized institutional investor kan. Kayak venture capital gitu biasanya perlu a certain amount of percentage ya. Before they actually make the investment. Kalau angel investors actually don't need that certain amount of percentage. They're very emotional. As long as they like the company, they like the mission that the company is on, and they like the vision, they're actually open to investing most of the time. So it's very relationship based.
Oke.
Yeah. It's very intangible jadinya.
Iya. Jadi ya tergantung angel investor yang di-approach sama star founder itu ya kayak gimana prefernya ya.
Iya.
Oke. Then how about your Kopital Network ya? Sekarang kan lagi megang Kopital Network juga ya, megang operasionalnya. Boleh diceritain sedikit nggak Kopital Network itu apa?
Jadi Kopital Network was made in 2020. It's made of founders and exec from the leading internet companies in Indonesia. Jadi the thought process is dulu pas pandemi a lot of early stage companies were suffering kan.
Yeah.
And angels obviously a lot of in the early days for a short time there was not very much funding activity going on. Jadi actually some of the funding activity was made by angel investors. And the thought process was at the time, if you cannot provide them capital, maybe you can help by bringing strategic values. And the founders and exec from the leading companies in Indonesia actually have an ecosystem already kan biasanya. Again, kayak members of the group include, of course, the founders of Kopi Kenangan who can actually help bring synergic values kan to the early stage companies that they invest in. And then kayak founders and exec from other internet companies can do that too. Jadi these angels provide kayak sort of a way their own personal ecosystems, their companies, so that these early stage companies can maybe try to achieve product market fit, can try to can test out new products and different things like that. I think that's the difference between getting super angels on board compared to institutional investors. Yeah.
And so far, how many startups have you invested in?
I think for the past 3 years, we've invested in around 20 to 30 companies.
Banyak ya.
Lumayan, yeah.
Biasanya di industri apa? Apakah kalian ada preferensi atau agnostik?
We are very sector agnostic. So kayak we see, because I feel Indonesia, there's a lot of problems that can still be solved. And there's still a lot of industry to be digitalized. So we tend to try to be open-minded when we look at the different opportunities that are presented to us.
Oke.
Yeah.
Dan misalnya ada audience bisa podcast ini yang mau pitching ke Kopital Network. Nah, how do they do that?
There are multiple ways. Bisa di refer to me, and then you can email me. You can just email me your deck, email me a blurb, which a blurb is basically 2 paragraphs and of a summary of your business and your highlights and the business highlights. Or you can reach me through LinkedIn. And yeah, typically the good thing about angel investors is we actually make a decision really quick. Jadi typically within 1 week we'll make a decision if we're going to invest or not. Yeah. So lumayan beda sama institutional.
That's very quick.
Iya.
1 minggu.
Iya.
Banyak dong berarti pitch deck yang udah masuk.
Yeah.
Thousands.
A few hundreds a year.
Oh, okay.
A few hundreds a year. So kayak I guess over 3 years 1,000-ish.
Okay.
Iya.
Yeah. Tapi kalau terima deck kan belum ketemu orangnya nih ya.
Iya.
What stand out the most for you gitu ketika melihat suatu deck?
Maybe the deck can be not too long, and I guess keep the deck simple and short. 8 to 10 pages. Terus habis itu I'll typically go to the market size, comparables, and then I'll typically go to the founder. And then after that, usually kan the founder page-nya juga ya. Then after that, so those three I will skim through real quick. And after that, I will look at the problem page, because typically they will have a page where they identify the problem that they're trying to solve. And from there, then I will probably decide if we're going to meet the founders or not.
So basically ya harus bisa convince kalau itu real problem yang important to solve, itu kan ya kalau dari sini. Okay.
And I guess jangan terlalu wordy ya kayak the deck. Gara-gara kalau terlalu wordy jadi because typically since there are so many decks, you probably nggak bisa pay that much attention to every detail in the deck, right? So you want it to be more kayak you want to try to make it as simple as possible actually.
Okay.
Supaya it's easy to understand, it's quick, and kayak
Iya. Oke. Nah, setelah itu baru set up meeting, Zoom call gitu ya.
Iya benar.
Paling satu, dan setelah itu bisa quickly decide.
Typically the Zoom call satu tuh with me, and then after that I'll share it with the Angel Network. So I'm sort of the gatekeeper of the Angel Network. Then it will be with me, and then I'll share it to the Angel Network. And then kayak the angels that are interested will actually be set up on another call. Then kayak those that are interested will participate. Jadi the Angel Network is actually it's just a community where we actually just everyone. We don't force anyone to invest, tapi if you really like it, please do. Yeah.
Jadi you're just the first gatekeeper, then after that up to the other angels gitu ya.
Yes, benar.
Typically ticket size-nya berapa besar kalau untuk angel investing?
So angels can actually invest from as low as 10K up to 50 or even 100K per individual. So in the case of the Kopital Network, the smallest investment we have made as a group is 50K, and the biggest investment we have made as a group is around 750K. So it's a wide range depending on kayak how many people are interested in investing. Yeah, and as you can tell, because we don't invest in the millions. We try to only look for companies that are still in the very early stage.
How early are we talking about? Misalnya apakah prototype atau harus udah ada MVP dan udah ada traction?
No, sebenarnya just an idea.
Oh, just an idea.
Yeah, just an idea. You feel convicted about it. You pitch to us, because we know that not every investments will also. We know there are risks to every investments, and I think founders yang berani take the risk, they should be rewarded, and we'll take that. We'll take that bet with them if we feel the problem is worth solving, and if we feel that I think the founder is the right founder to actually solve that problem.
Yeah. So very early idea ya.
Idea. I think the latest we have invested in is actually pre-Series A, and there's only one out of 20 to 30 plus companies. I think mostly it's a seed, pre-seed, or idea stage.
But that's the thing about angel investor, yeah. They're willing to take big risk.
Yes, big risk, because your motivation is not financial gain, yeah. I mean, there is some financial motivation, tapi there's actually a lot of passion there.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's quite a different way to look at. Having an angel investor is sort of like having an extra partner or co-founder actually. Because obviously their personal money, as mentioned, they're more hands-on, and they actually give their personal networks as well. Yeah.
Jadi bisa ya, waktu idea ke Kopital Network atau prototype, habis itu ke binus startup Accelerator.
Iya bisa banget.
Iya, wajib promosi.
Iya.
Iya, terus atau mungkin kita bisa collab.
Iya. Pasti. Yeah.
Oke. Thank you so much Fandy udah sharing di sini sama kita, udah banyak insight yang dikasih. I'm sure teman-teman juga banyak belajar dari bincang-bincang kita tadi. Mungkin one last word untuk founders di luar sana, kira-kira ada nggak?
One last words.
Fine, ya gitulah pokoknya.
Okay, I guess
tips
never.
atau apa gitu.
I guess never stop building, and always never stop learning.
Never stop building, never stop learning.
Yeah.
Okay. Karena it's an ongoing journey.
It's an ongoing journey.
Non-stop, yeah.
It's a marathon kan. Yeah. So that's.
Okay. Thank you very much, Fandy.
Yeah.
Nice having you here. Semoga kita bisa ngobrol-ngobrol lagi nanti ya.
Thank you for having me too. Yeah.
Thank you juga buat teman-teman yang udah stay tune. Jangan lupa untuk tunggu episode Bisa-Bisa Podcast sebelumnya. Oke. Bye-bye.